his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company.
You're dying. That's true. And it is what it is. You're dying. That's true. And it is what it is.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like
Antifa exists. Antifa exists. Antifa exists.
Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Really bad for you. 8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company.
He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about me.
I don't know Beau. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
For
wasn't dishonorably.
cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. This is Above It All 999. So, I'd like to, before this show begins, preemptively apologize for putting on these really low effort shows. I haven't really put on any good shows in like a couple days. So I'm just want to throw that out there. Super sorry about that. I'm unsmudging my glasses. Super sorry about that. I've been really focused on Donald Trump and the election because I think it's really funny. And this is kind of my way of staying sane and my way of staying alive in these last couple of weeks. So I know there's a lot of good protest action. I know there's a lot of other stuff I should probably be covering, but I really just kind of want to make this outlet right here just like a kind of like comedy hour. Like I just want everyone to acknowledge just how stupid what's going on is. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Burismia. Let me just play that again.
8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
A real beautiful
company.
I love it, dude. That's so fucking funny. But yeah, big scoop. Massive scoop. Mind-blowing scoop. Look at the bed. So everybody, the Patreon has been going great. The Patreon has been wonderful. I am finally able actually to get sheets on my bed. It's happened, everyone. It's occurred. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. So I'm at 33 patrons, 156 a month. God bless these godding patronizers. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with new words when I speak, and I should just resort to the English language. But I finally have been able to get sheets on my bed. And it's been a tough ride, It's been really rough out here over the last couple of months with no sheets. But I'm going to pop an estrogen pill. And just give me a little bit. Just, I'm living. I'm just alive. Right now I'm a biological creature just functioning. Hello, Reinhard Nanner. 1000 is the next episode. That's absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. We're almost to 1000 above it all. Technically, I mean, it's only like episode 20 something if you use the full length numerical counting. But above it all, 1000. Doesn't matter how we got here. All that matters is that we're here. I started my show as a video format specifically so that I could get the numbers way, way up. And so that it would look like eventually, like, oh, wow, this person has 1,000 shows. They must be like some hotshot podcaster. No, I've only been at it for a couple of weeks. But no. Yeah, that's been the basic idea. I'm going to drink some more coffee. Yeah, it appears that Donald Trump is currently melting down on Twitter. I think so. Yeah, this is something I want to talk about, because I was going to talk about this. I saw a Hill article this morning about this. I'm just going to start it with this. I just looked on Twitter. I just looked on Twitter. And Donald Trump's melting down. So let's watch. Okay, so Donald Trump is on Twitter.com. Literally right now. This is 20 minutes ago. The least effective of our 53 Republican senators, and a person who truly doesn't have what it takes to be great, is little Ben Sass of Nebraska, a state which I have gladly done so much to help. At Sass was as nice as a rhino can be until he recently won the Republican nomination to run for a second term. Then he went back to his rather stupid and obnoxious ways. Must feel he can't lose to a damn. Little Ben is a liability to the Republican Party and an embarrassment to the great state of Nebraska. Other than that, he's just a wonderful guy. So Donald Trump is already culling the herd of the Republican Party. It's already happening. So I've got this article I was in the middle of reading before the show started. And I like doing the highlight thing while I read articles, just, in case there's text I can skip. So I'm just going to read this. This is on the Hill. I always start reading articles like right before the show starts. I try to see if there's anything else I can pile on, and then I never finish reading any of the articles, and I never end up talking about them. But Trump's having a meltdown live, and Republicans increasingly are seeking distance from Donald Trump. Mitch McConnell is trying so hard to get Amy Coney Barrett nominated and confirmed onto the Supreme Court because he knows the Republican era is over. The era of white nationalism taking place in a political party is over, or at least it's ending. The era of that being the reigning form of government, it's done. It's gone, all right? It's gone, all right? So what way is there for people like Mitch McConnell and other Republicans to get their agenda furthered without having to be a part of an open white nationalist political party? That's the Supreme Court. Having a 6-3 Supreme Court with a 47-year-old being the new justice, that is going to mean that this court is going to be ruined, assuming that there is not court reform, which, let's be honest, has to be on the table. But assuming that there is no court reform, right, the next couple of years are going to be a disaster, are going to be an absolute fucking nightmare. So they know that. They're aware of that. The idea behind the Republicans in the Senate right now is, can we hold on to the filibuster? Can we prevent things like court reform for as long as possible and just lay low? Just lay low. Maybe we'll hold on for another 6-year Senate term. Really, but let's be honest. Do you think Lindsey Graham, if he wins this Senate race, do you think Lindsey Graham is going to be winning another Senate race in 2026? Of course not. This year, and maybe 2022 will be the dying breath. Maybe this is just a dying breath, but 2022 will be the dying breath. But there are a lot of Republicans right now that have hung on for far too long. Lindsey Graham is one of the biggest examples, right? And it's really, I think, give it a couple more years, and I think they're toast. Right now, they might squeak on by. They might get that 6 years extra bonus because the Constitution gives senators 6-year terms, because why the fuck not? Who cares about democracy, right? So they might last for another 6 years. But these Republicans are going down, and one of the ways that these Republicans are thinking of maybe not going down, maybe I will have an extra 6 years, maybe I'll be able to hold on just a little bit longer. One of their ways to do that is by going against Trump. So let me read this article from The Hill. There have been many Republicans that have been going after Trump recently. They know it. The writing is on the wall. I'm just going to look at Real Clear real quick. Let me just look. The RCP average right now for Biden is he's up 9 points with a 51.3% lead over 42.3 on Donald Trump. The race is over. There is a small chance that Republicans are going to cheat this election, but honestly, the idea that you see a lot of senators and a couple of other high-key Republican figures going against Trump right now means that they're probably not willing to steal the election. Are they willing to risk all of the power that they've gained over their entire lives, right? Like, who knows? Just for Donald Trump's fucking stinky asshole? I don't know. With the 6-3 Supreme Court, I feel like one of the ultimate agendas of the Republican Party has been completed. I don't think they need Donald Trump anymore. I think they're throwing Donald Trump away like they would throw anyone else away that's fully utilized their worth. So let's read this article here, because there's a bunch of these Republicans now that are breaking in ranks. More and more Republicans are running for the lifeboats, with President Trump sinking in the polls less than 3 weeks before the November elections. A growing number of GOP lawmakers are scrambling to distance themselves from their party's embattled standard bearer, a shift that's both illuminated Trump's tumultuous tenure in the White House and driven cracks in the GOP's united front at a particularly inconvenient moment for the unpopular president. Again, for the president, yes. This is an unpopular moment, or this is a bad thing for him. He's losing. He realizes his ship has sailed. If Donald Trump were even remotely intelligent, he would try to push the Amy Coney Barrett hearings into the lame duck, because they can still do it, right? They're already dedicated to doing whatever the fuck they want, so they can still do it in the lame duck, but that would be able to hold on to the SCOTUS as a reason for people to vote for these Republican senators, right? But they're not doing that. They're going to go full steam ahead on Amy Coney Barrett and sacrifice Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is too dumb to respond. And like I said, he's just having a meltdown on Twitter. The least effective, right? Like, the least effective, right? Wouldn't the least effective, like, Republican senator be someone? I don't know. I'm not going to get on that. But for vulnerable Republicans at risk of losing seats, the detachment appears designed to attract independent and moderate GOP voters who have soured on Trump over 4 years in office. Others seem to have written the president off and are now burnishing images of political independence in preparation for a Trumpless Washington. It's about survival for some. For others, it's about positioning for the post-Trump world, said one former Republican lawmaker who estimated there was only a 5 to 10% chance of Trump winning a second term. The writing's on the wall, folks. If you're still out there going Trump 2020, Trump 2020, like, you know, cherish these moments, because your dreams are going to be very, 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 very crushed very, very soon. So post your Trump 2020 in the chat, in the comments. Post it. Get it out of your system, right? Get that done. You know, rub one out to the Trump campaign. It's coming to an end very soon. National polls show Joe Biden leading Trump by an average of nearly 9 percentage points, and Biden is also ahead in Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, critical states that Trump carried 4 years ago. Biden also has a very high chance of winning a state like North Carolina, which is where I live. In fact, Trump's campaign manager, Bill Stepien, has been darkly pessimistic in private conversations, leaving campaign staffers with the impression that Trump will lose the White House, Axios reported. The fissures are also showing on Capitol Hill. Senator Lindsey Graham, a close Trump ally, acknowledged this week that the White House might for that the White House might for the Democrats taking. Nice job, The Hill. I rely on your reporting, your center-right reporting, to get my news so that I can feed my fucking fan base with their news. And you can't even speak proper English. You can't even write with proper grammar. The Hill is officially canceled, folks. That the White House might be for the Democrats taking. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is refusing to consider a massive emergency stimulus bill favored by the president. And Senator Ben Sasse, the least effective senator, the least effective. They can't get anything done, folks. Nebraska, who occupies a safe red seat, issued a searing rebuke telling Nebraska voters that Trump has used the White House for profiteering, cozied up to white supremacists, and botched the federal response to the coronavirus at the expense of thousands of American lives. The writing is on the wall. Biden is going to win this election. Trump is toast. Trump is toast, everybody. They're done. They're gone. Whew, right? He refused to treat it seriously. For months, he treated it like a news cycle by news cycle PR crisis, Sasse said on a conference call with 17,000 constituents, the audio of which was leaked to the Washington Examiner. I'm now looking at the possibility of a Republican bloodbath in the Senate, and that's why I've never been on the Trump train. The criticisms are spilling far beyond the Capitol. On Thursday, Massachusetts GOP Governor Charlie Baker, who has clashed with Trump over coronavirus response, announced that he cannot vote for the president next month. On Friday, another Republican governor, my former governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, said he'd cast his ballot in favor of a write-in candidate, the late Ronald Reagan, remembered for his hopeful vision of America as a shining city upon a hill. I fucking hate Larry Hogan. Just a reminder, I lived in Maryland during the last gubernatorial election. The Democrats, right? Maryland's a blue state, but they have a fucking Republican governor. Are you kidding me? The Democrats voted for Larry Hogan over Ben Jealous. Why? Because Ben Jealous was pro-Medicare for all. The corporate ghouls that control Maryland's Democratic Party abandoned their own candidate in the general election in 2018. Really makes you think. But again, you have a lot of other of these situations. I didn't highlight the rest of the article. I'll read a little bit of it. You have Martha McSally voted to acquit Trump in the impeachment trial earlier this year, but repeatedly refused to say during a recent debate with the Democratic challenger Mark Kelly whether she was proud of her consistent support of the president. That was a funny clip I should have played, actually, of Martha McSally saying, I'm proud of everything we've done. But are you proud of the president? I'm proud of everything that we've done. But are you proud of the president? I'm proud of everything that we've done. Right? Isn't that really interesting? The Republicans are saying it here, folks. Loud and clear. Loud and clear, right? It's over. Donald Trump is over. Right? It's gone. It's gone. The dream is gone. So, hopefully that triggers a certain contingent of my viewer base. And hopefully it emboldens another contingent. I've got some cold brew coffee here with some ice in it. God bless. If Biden wins, the right will be energized and instigate more violence. That's correct. Biden will do nothing to stop them besides say a few empty words. Well, Trump will do nothing to stop them. We shouldn't, vote based on what a Proud Boy in Oregon might do. The cops in this country are basically a right-wing government gang. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. But yeah, I mean, Trump is over. We got to get ready for a new era, and Biden is not our friend. That needs to be stated. I'm voting for Biden, right? I voted for Biden. Everyone knows that. I'm on, that's my thing, right? We already know that. But Biden is not our friend. Biden is an enemy, and we must oppose Biden from not day one, but day zero, day -1. We have to start as soon as the final vote is cast. I am unleashing all that I've got when it comes to Joe Biden. I've got a secret stockpile of cringe that I am willing to go after Joe Biden for. And now I'm willing to go after Joe Biden right now, but honestly, I would rather make fun of Donald Trump. Like, if you look at this as like a zero-sum game, right? I'm doing an hour-long show every day. I could be assaulting and setting the record straight on Joe Biden, or I could be laughing at Donald Trump when he says stupid fucking shit like this, right? And I'm a funny person. I'm a comedian. I like to see the funny things in life. So this...
8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
A real beautiful company.
A real beautiful company.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody.
That was an
and
opinion
that was
of
a retweet.
somebody.
I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves.
I put it out there. I love that part. I'll put it out there. So good. But again, I just want to make fun of Donald Trump in the last few weeks of his presidency because I think that is deserved. I think Trump needs to leave the White House a laughing stock. We'll deal with Biden. We got plenty of time to deal with Biden, right? Trump needs to leave this White House as a laughing stock. His supporters need to hate him. His supporters need to be disgusted by him. The people that like him need to feel betrayed by him. They need to feel used by him. And if I can help with that in any capacity and laugh along the way, that's my goal. Saying Trump is over is wishful thinking. IMO Trumpies are just as threatening when he's out of power because of the fake outsider shtick. No, I agree, Skeptical Mantis. It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. But, again, the Trump era is coming to an end. Whether or not, we're going to have right-wing militias that are going to do things, I think that's going to be a huge problem. I think Biden being president, is going to make this country a lot more fractured. I don't think that there is any back to normalcy. I don't believe in any of that shit. That being said, Trump needs to go. I don't know, Burisma. I know, Hunter. And so, on the subject of Trump rallies, here's a photograph of a Trump rally in Akola, which I believe is in Florida, as it says from the geotag down here. And I just want to analyze this. So Trump has been diagnosed with and went to the hospital with coronavirus 19, right? And he came out there a couple days later saying, "Don't be afraid of it, folks. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't let it dominate your lives." And now, as a result, a week and a half later, look at this image. It's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, right? It's hot as hell. And you have these people packed like fucking cattle at a fucking factory farm trying to get their little wave in at the president. Maybe the president will wave at me. Maybe the president will smile at me and wave. Maybe, just maybe, the president's glistening sweat droplets will hit my eyeball and will cause me to blink as I feel the bliss from the president's presence approaching my soul. Right? Again, these people are ridiculous. These people are still willing to kill themselves and their family just to see the president step off of an airplane or something. What is going on here? I don't know. Is this a rally or is this... I don't know. It kind of looks like an airport, but there's something going on here, right? It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Pioneer in the chat room, his supporters must also be ridiculed and humiliated. They must take their walk of shame. I absolutely agree with that. But, Pioneer, they must take a walk of shame. They must realize why they were wrong. And we also need to hold them accountable and give them a path of rehabilitation. That is key here. We cannot have 40% of Americans, right, take their walk of shame and go into like a 4chan page and start arming up and plotting terrorist attacks. We cannot let that happen. We need to let these people know that it is okay to not want to kill transgender people. It is okay to not want to kill homosexual people. It is okay not to want to kill children. It is okay not to want to kill elderly. You are allowed to live in society without wanting to infect people with a deadly disease. That's okay. In fact, that's not only is that okay, but it should be embraced. We need to let them know that it's okay when gay people get married, that it doesn't hurt them in any capacity. It's okay when a woman that they've never spoken to gets an abortion for medical reasons. That's okay. They need to know that. These people need to know that, because we cannot have a functioning country, we cannot have a functioning population on the planet if we have 30-ish% of the population that wants to kill everyone else. That's not going to make things easy. So yes, they need to take a walk of shame. Yes, these people need to be ridiculed, but they need to know that there is a way out for them. They need to know that there is a way that they can turn the other cheek and they can be a better person. That is key here. In this atomized culture where a lot of these people are probably, because of the pandemic, not going to be able to go outside as much as they would like to, they're going to be stuck online. We need to make sure that they don't find their way onto 4chan, 8chan, Kiwi Farms, Stormfront, right? These other far-right websites where people congregate. We need to make sure that they don't get stuck in right-wing Facebook groups. We need to make sure that they're okay. We need to make sure that they're taken care of. Because, yes, I don't like fascists. I don't like fascism. But to say that all of Trump supporters are fascists, that's just not true. They might be racist. They might be okay with fascism. They might be okay with racism. They might be okay with killing transgender people. And that's what we need to work at. We need to tell them why those are not reasonable sacrifices. But again, look at this, right? You see a sea, an ocean of cringe. Maskless morons waiting to worship their God Emperor Donald Trump. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And yes, a lot of these people, they're going to take care of themselves. They're going out here in Florida, of all states. They're going out here in Florida, of all states. These people are a lot in case they're going to take care of themselves. But we need to make sure that the ones that are left behind they have a route that does not include fascism. That there needs to be an option there. But again, the president out there is doing his infomercials that would be banned under like FCC regulations, but he's the president, so he's allowed to get up there and say, yeah, you know that treatment I got? Well, your insurance doesn't cover that, but we have the best healthcare. So go out there, don't let COVID dominate your lives, get fucking virused, have fun with it, buddy. Thank you for your vote. Be sure to mail in your ballot before you get hospitalized. That's the Trump campaign, in a nutshell. And that needs to be roundly condemned. Absolutely needs to be roundly condemned. Skeptical Mantis says, we're not going to convince reactionaries that we're okay if there's no offer of substantial change to make all of our lives better. Democrats will offer nothing. Of course. Of course. This is not reliance on the Democrat Party. This is reliance on us as a population, us as a species. We need to be aware of each other. We need to help each other. We need to be willing to help each other. That's why I am open to all these debates. That's why you see me talk to these far right wingers on my channel. That's why I'm willing to have conversations with people that want to murder me. People that openly come into my chat room and advocate for me to die and to be murdered. I am willing to have a conversation with them because that will humanize me to them a little bit. And that's okay with me. If I can spend an hour of my time humanizing myself to someone, and maybe it's ineffectual, but maybe 7 years from now, they'll realize, wait a second, I spoke to a trans person. They're not all evil Satan worshipers that want to kill my children, right? Because that's how they get convinced. That's how these people get convinced. They get convinced that gay people are going to come and snatch up their kids, and that's why we need to kill gay people, right? That you need to understand that through line, and that's super important. Skeptical Manta says, Biden is fascist. His crime bill waged war in our communities. Democrats waged war against the world's oppressed majority. That's not incorrect. I wouldn't say Biden is personally a fascist. I would say Trump is personally a fascist. Biden is just a really bad person. But I wouldn't say he aspires to be the king of the world of a white race or anything. He's just a really bad and dumb person that gets used by people that want to do that. Absolutely. But at the same time, we have to understand your analysis, and I'm not trying to, shit on you, Skeptical Mantis. Your analysis of we must always hate the Democrat Party above all else is not going to solve the crisis that we're in. We need to hate the Democrat Party, absolutely, but that cannot be our only criticism. That cannot be our only beat. That we need to come up with alternatives. And that's very important. That's very important. So, yes, that's my thoughts on Donald Trump supporters. Already halfway through the show today. We're just zooming right by him. Hello, Mosh Master. Research thoroughly a man named Leon Cizal. Okay. Being okay with fascism is abetting fascism. Absolutely. Send the dullards to concentration camps, aka middle school, to re-educate them. Honestly, I would not have any problem with a public re-education program. But of course, there's a lot of problems that come with that. Assuming it's done properly, I would not have a problem with that. But we can't do that with... I don't think that that's likely with the government. I think government's funded maybe. But I mean, like, we're seeing with the counterculture, like, the anti-woke people. You even see this on the left. Like, yeah, so I want people to have health care, but I still will make black people jokes. I'll make fun of gay people, but at least I want them to have health care. Like, those kind of class reductionist, moronic left-wingers that claim to be left. Like, those people, like, a lot of those people, right, they need to be re-educated. But, like, there's this backlash against fucking any form of improvements on how to communicate. Have I ever voice chat with people on these issues? All the time, Shadow? Literally just mentioned that. Skeptical Manta says AOC and the fraud squad are making careers for themselves and enabling Nancy Pelosi. They do nothing for the people. Yeah, I mean, I guess, right? If, providing mutual aid like AOC is doing in her district is doing nothing, that's fine. That's cool. They're doing nothing. Ilhan Omar providing key representation and messaging against imperialism, albeit she doesn't have a 100% anti-imperialist message, but hell of a lot more than every other Democrat. That's nothing, of course. Right? Shifting the entire conversation within 2 years, right, to Donald Trump is running his election on the idea that AOC is taking over the Democratic Party. But of course, yeah, they're doing nothing. Come on, Skeptical Mantis. You can be jaded, you can be skeptical, but that does not mean you can, it's reasonable or intelligent to throw away potential allies before you've even given them any chance to have any power whatsoever. Like, they're not in positions of power. AOC was doing fundraising for her district. She was providing a lot of crucial campaign funds to people that needed help in her district. Providing, like, food programs and stuff. It's definitely a start, right? Like, is it what she should be doing? It's on the right path. It's on the right path. You don't just become a communist. Like, you don't become like a hardened veteran communist overnight. There's a path there. And so, yes, while electoralism is not the end-all be-all, to say that electoralism provides absolutely nothing is crucially incorrect. AOC is a waste and harmful to her constituents. No. Every public school in NYC already gives free food every day. AOC is doing nothing. There's a pandemic going on. Skeptical Mantis, I'm not sure if you've read the news lately. I'm not sure if you've been keeping up to date. But schools are shut down in New York City. There's a pandemic. I'm not sure if, like, this might be breaking news for you, Skeptical Mantis. Like, you might have been taking a really long nap, but there's a pandemic going on. Schools in New York City are shut down. And yes, there's a lot of poor people that only get to eat once a day in their public school lunch. Eating twice a day is an improvement. Saying that improvements are nothing is just ridiculous. It's not true. It's factually incorrect. Now, you can be skeptical of their efficacy. You can say, I'm not sure if that's enough, and you can pressure people to do more. But when people are on the right path and you say they're doing nothing, that is counter to what we need to be doing. We need to say, AOC, that is a great start. Let's keep it going. We don't need to be saying, AOC, you're garbage. You're doing nothing, because that does nothing. That accomplishes nothing. We can't credit AOC for the supposed mutual aid. I live near the AOC district. Schools offer food throughout the pandemic every single day. Well, that's great then. That's great. But you have to understand, people having 2 meals a day is a lot better than people having 1 meal a day. I remember when I was a kid, I went weeks without eating at times. Right? If I had a politician say, I'll give you a sandwich every day because of the funds that we're raising, that would, literally have changed my entire life if I were in that position when I was 13 years old. You have to understand that, because we're raising a generation of folks, kids, that we're raising them on the idea that, yes, our politicians can help us, maybe a little bit, right? And AOC is paving the way for that. It's important to understand. Now, again, I'm not saying you need to credit her and say she's God reincarnated, because she is not. But you can't say that she is useless. Like, that's just factually untrue. Hands, if you want to come into the chat room and post a bunch of stupid garbage, feel free. But I'm not going to acknowledge you unless you actually want to have like a serious conversation. To say that people are not starving when there's 10 million children that are undernourished in this country is ridiculous. You are an idiot. And Skeptical Mantis, think about this right now. In this chat room, the only person that agrees with you is a fascist. Think about that. Think about that. You are alone in this fight, and your only ally is a fascist that came here to say Trump 2020 and troll the chat room. Think about that. I just want you to think about that. Yes, AOC is not perfect. Yes, she is not, like, great, right? But she can be pushed, and we need to push everybody. You have to understand that. When your only allies are fascists, you need a reorientation. But just simmer on that for a little bit. Simmer on that. Just think about it a little bit. That's all. They agree with you. They're on your side. The only person that agrees with you in the chat room right now is a Trumper. So think about it. Just throwing that out there, giving you some food for thought. Anyway, let's talk more about Donald Trump's campaign rhetoric. Because Donald Trump thinks that he is campaigning against Hillary Clinton. You have Mike Pompeo, right? Mike Pompeo is out there saying Hillary's emails, Hillary's emails, Hillary's emails, right? Yet, somehow it's Joe Biden that's running. So they're out there trying to figure out a way. How can we do the Hillary Clinton magic in a bottle repurposed for Joe Biden? Well, this is the best that they've got.
I'll tell you something, though, and it's very lock them up. You shouldn't lock them up. Lock up the Bidens.
Notice the thin blue line here, flag. Notice the flag of a terrorist fucking identity being waved at a presidential rally. It is extremely important to understand that.
Hillary.
They're saying law and order as they advocate to lock people up, right? Like, it's strange. It's bizarre.
Lock them up. Can you imagine?
But again, this is the Trump campaign. This is what they're doing. They think that they can just campaign on this and it will work. They're down 15 points in polls. They're down 8 points in Pennsylvania. They're down 10 in Wisconsin. Trump's campaign is toast. It's a toast, right? It's garbage. It's falling into the ocean. And they're thinking maybe running on statues for the last 3 months. Oh no, Antifa removed statues. It's a threat to American democracy. Maybe running on that wasn't a way to win back voters. Maybe saying, fuck Americans. They don't need a stimulus package, right? Oh, fuck, any extension of rent relief or anything like that. No. Fuck all that shit. We don't need anything. Donald Trump, 2 weeks before the election, is like, maybe we should do a stimulus. And now Mitch McConnell in his own party is like, fuck it. You wasted too much time, Don. See ya, bud. Right? Trump's campaign is garbage. So when things finally come to a boiling point, when he finally realizes it's all over, what does he do? I don't know. Fuck it. Let's go back to the greatest hits. Lock him up. Lock him up. They say, while waving a thin blue line flag, the same flag that people utilized in their ideology to murder protesters in Wisconsin, a state that Biden currently leads Donald Trump in by 10 points. Really makes you think. Really makes you think. Right? Again, but this is the Trump strategy. You see a chatter in the live stream right now. Hands is saying, Antifa is loved by Americans. Keep believing that. They think that because Americans are put off by pro-police terrorists, that automatically I'm saying police love Antifa. These people are they are not real thinking rational people. They are not. They're not. right? And again, you have these people in my live stream. There's going to be these people in the comments on this video when I post it later, right? They don't think like normal people. They think that they're in this info war. They're on the front lines of this war with Antifa. Their like 40-year-old Facebook profile is on the front. They're in the trenches in this warfare between Thin Blue Line and fucking Antifa. Most people don't care about either of those things. Most people want to go back to normal, right? And Joe Biden is denying any association with Antifa. He is saying that rioters and looters must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. He is saying that anarchists are not good people, right? These are all things that are personally offensive to me, but as far as most Americans, it explains why he's 10 to 15 to 20 points up in these polls, because he is saying, I will bring you back to normal. Now, we know that that's not true, but what you have to understand is Donald Trump thinks that most people are being invaded. Most people are in these cities that are burning down. 99% of the people in this country are not living in a city that's being burnt down. Most people have seen a protest maybe at their court, right? Maybe at their local election office, and that's it. On their drive from work or to or from work in the morning, they see a couple people hold up signs in front of a pharmacy. That is their experience with the Black Lives Matter protests. Most people are not in these cities that are being burned to the ground. By the way, these cities are not being burned to the ground, right? That's not a thing, right? So when you see this, when Donald Trump is trying to make a small thing into the national election discourse, it doesn't work. Most people go I don't really care about that. That doesn't affect me. I just want to go back to normal. I want to go back to normal when the president wasn't endorsing murder, when the president wasn't saying openly that he is okay with extrajudicial assassinations of American citizens that violate constitutional rights. By the way, again, Donald Trump, while he's waving his Blue Lives Matter Thin Blue Line flag, is saying he violated the Constitution by murdering an American citizen before due process could take effect. It really makes you think. But again, Trump supporters, like the ones in this chat room right now, the polls are wrong. The cities are being burned to the ground. If there were cities being burnt to the ground, there would be a refugee crisis in this country. If Minneapolis were burnt to the ground, there would be 2 million people without homes. That would be a huge national problem in the discourse. But somehow, there's all these talks of cities being burnt down, but no one's talking about all the refugees, right? There's more people that have lost their lives in this pandemic, lost their homes in this pandemic, that have lost their homes because Antifa burned them down. There's maybe 6 people in the whole country that have lost their homes because Antifa burned them down. And I'm skeptical of what Antifa burning them down even means. If you go into all of these cases, that's not the case, right? But there are maybe 6 people who have had their homes slightly hurt by a protester, right? Whereas there's literally millions of people that are homeless because they cannot pay their rent because they lost their job during this pandemic. But what does Trump care about? Not the people that are homeless because of the pandemic that he caused. No. He's scared about the hypothetical person who might have had their window broken in because someone threw a soup can. This is soup for my family. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No?
Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
Isn't that really interesting? Right, but Donald Trump has tried to make the national discourse about law and order. Meanwhile, he violates law and order, and he also doesn't give a shit about people that have lost their livelihoods because of this pandemic. And you see dumb motherfuckers like in this chat room, the cities are all gone. Rochester, New York, it's gone. Wiped off the map. Kenosha, wiped off the map. Minneapolis, it's gone. All these cities, millions and millions of refugees. Where are the caravans? Hands in the chat room, where are the caravans that are going from the former state of Minnesota to, I don't know, are they traveling to Iowa? Where are all these caravans of people that had their homes burned down by Antifa? Why aren't they on, national news every day talking about how Antifa burned their houses down? It's really interesting that you keep talking about all these cities being burnt down, yet you can't find a single person whose house was even remotely hurt going on national media. The Republican National Convention brought on the people that aimed their guns at protesters in, where was that, Louisiana? If they are willing to bring on people that aimed a gun at protesters, you would think that they would jump at the opportunity to bring people on who lost their homes because Antifa burned them down. You would think they would love that opportunity. It would be on news 24/7. Antifa burned my house down. It burned my house down. I lost, my dog because Antifa burned my house down. Yet, you don't see it. You don't see it. A couple of buildings being set on fire automatically means that millions of people are refugees, right? Automatically. Because the Trump mind doesn't care. It's all rhetoric. It's all lying. That is the fascist playbook. Lie, 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 lie some more, and weaponize people's feelings. I don't want my house burned down, so if you lie and say a left-winger is going to burn my house down, oh no, I hate the left now because they're going to burn my house down. And that's the propaganda that this Trump campaign has propagated, right? And I know this clip was about locking up Biden, but it's just about, again, this whole theme of law and order makes no sense to me, right? Whose law and whose order is Donald Trump trying to talk about? I haven't seen any black people throwing Molotovs on my city streets, right? Probably because they don't exist. And there's one video of one person who isn't even black throwing a Molotov in some city somewhere throughout the last couple of months. This uprising in this country has been historically peaceful. When you compare this to more of the situations that were in the 60s, this shit is absurdly peaceful. The level of peaceful protests that we have seen in comparison to other eras, like the 50s or 60s, is ridiculous. Right? I think people should be a lot less peaceful and a lot more direct in their messaging, just like they were in the 60s. But that's not happening. Yet you still see these people overreacting. Law and order, lock them up. What? Lock who up? How about you lock up the cops who killed Breonna Taylor? I don't know. Just an idea. Just an idea. Just an idea. Throwing that out there. Throwing that out there. Just tossing that into the zeitgeist, into the zeitgeist it goes. But again, you see these full-on dullards in the chat room. Again, they're just dumber than fucking bricks. They're dumber than bricks. But they're going to keep doing it until Trump leaves, and then they're going to take the mask off. Then it's no longer about Trump. Then it's about, let's kill the trans. Let's kill the gays. We got to kill them all. Trump right now is their mask. And when Trump loses, when Trump is gone, they're going to take the mask off, and these people are going to commit a lot of political violence. And this is something I've been saying for a couple months now. This is going to be happening, right? And you need to understand, we have it in the chat room. We have it in the chat room, right? Anyone who's ever touched a drug is the death penalty, right? If you've ever, I don't know, been in a car crash and had to take a Percocet, for pain relief, death penalty. Shouldn't have been on drugs. Shouldn't have been on drugs. Death penalty, right? If you went to war, right, and, landed on an IED and broke your leg, right? Maybe your leg is, maybe you don't have a leg anymore, and you want to smoke weed for pain relief? Nah, fuck it. You did drugs. Death penalty. That's the society that Trumpers advocate for. That's the society that they want, is to give you the death penalty for any reason whatsoever, right? But law and order, right? Whose law and whose order gives people the death penalty for smoking a blunt? Certainly isn't mine. Percocets are great. Weed is fine. But Breonna Taylor deserved to die, right? Facts and logic. Fucking idiot, dude. If you were going to try to debate me, right? Come on my Discord. Come on my show. Let's have a voice conversation. Don't troll in the chat room. Lol, I called you a tranny. Ha ha ha. Lol, you deserve the death penalty. Lol, Trump 20. Come on, bud. This is low effort. People like you do this every single day, and it's embarrassing. If you want to have a conversation, feel free to add me, right? We'll have a conversation. But this is just spam. It's low effort cringe. And seriously, you can do better. You can do better. I guarantee you, you are capable of so much more as a person. What percentage of time do I think I spend encouraging people to vote for Biden? Maybe 2%. I don't know. Skeptical Mantis. Now, if you want to say ever even admitting that Biden might be better than Trump is automatically cancel culture worthy, sure, I'm canceled. When am I going to do? I just did 3 speedruns of Mega Man X4 like the other day, Mr. Cyrus. Like, I think it was 2 days ago. I did 3 speedruns in a row. So go watch those. But yeah, as I've been saying, I mean, the election is soon. I'm talking about the election. After the election is over, I will broaden my horizons and talk more about a lot of other stuff. Like, I've got an idea as to what's going on. Like, if you want to criticize me because I'm focusing too much on the election in the 3-4 weeks before the election, that's fine. I'll accept that criticism. I could be doing a lot more, but I'm not. I'm deciding to smoke weed and play video games for a majority of my day. And to be honest, I mean, it's self-care. I don't know. That's just me, though. But there's one thing else I want to talk about on today's show. And you watched a handful of my videos. I mean, if you watched a handful of my videos and you want to make a broad analysis over that, that's fine. That's totally fine. Right? But, sure. I don't know. Like, we had a conversation. I agree with you. I'm an anarchist. I think Biden needs to be inaugurated from a bunker. I think we should be doing a lot more of burning. We should be doing a lot more of this. We should be doing a lot more of that. We should be striking, right? We should be, withholding labor. We should be doing all of this stuff. But we got to build that, like, movement. We're not there yet, right? We're not there yet. The biggest labor action that's happened, that's had, like, an actual national effect on the last few years has been when the government shut down and the airline workers striked. I think like 20 something days into the government shutdown. And I think that was the most effective act of withholding labor that this country has seen in a long, long time. And there's been a lot of great strikes. There's been a lot of great teacher strikes in a lot of states like West Virginia, Kansas. A lot of these states have had great labor actions, and I should focus on them more. I absolutely should. But as of this moment in time, I am one person, and I do a 1-hour show a day. Maybe I'll do a 2-hour show at some point. Maybe. But I'm still working things out. I'm still figuring things out, I'm not like a professional, so just, bear with me. And we'll go from there. You know what you're getting when you come in here. Got an issue of import? We are all listening. Here is one. Dems and Republicans love ISIS. Who disagrees? That's absolutely correct. Do I have a poster of Ernesto Shea in my room? I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. That's a Mega Man X6 poster, if that's what you're talking about. My favorite Mega Man. Alright, so I want to talk one more thing today, and this is international news. This is what's going on in France. You may have missed this. Yeah, I mean, like, an hour is pushing your attention limit for me too, to be honest. I don't know. I kind of like doing an hour of like a somewhat focused show, and maybe I should focus it more. And then doing those like free-for-all streams. And maybe I should spend those free-for-all streams asking people for content for the next day's show. Maybe when I stream later, and if y'all see a news story, let me know. I'll throw it in the show for tomorrow, right? Like, that's like, I'm a very interactive person. This needs to be an interactive experience, right? So, that's where I'm at. But yeah, let's talk about what's happening in France. So, in France, this is something that I saw this morning, and I believe this either happened yesterday or over the night, so forth. A teacher was decapitated in a Paris suburb, France's anti-terror prosecutor says. Now, I'm reading this from CNN, bear with me. Yeah, so let's read what's happening here, and we'll discuss. One thing I will say as far as like a meta thing, right? Like, I'm a podcaster. right? I'm a YouTube commentator. And one thing I've realized is that YouTube commentators, and this is something I've realized with the Supreme Court thing going on, but like podcasters, journalists, commentators, right? CNN anchors, all these kinds of people, we are in a lot of ways acting like judges in a court. We wait for things to like happen, right? And then we respond to them. So a lot of people might not know. There has not been many things that I've covered involving terrorism of an Islamic variety. So a lot of people might not know where I stand on this stuff, right? And so I want to tell you, I am not a religious person. Throughout a lot of my life, I was very much so against religion. And one of the biggest reasons why I'm still teetering on that line of being against religion is because of situations like this, right? So I'm going to read to you this. A man decapitated a school teacher in a suburb of Paris on Friday afternoon and was later shot dead by police, France's anti-terror prosecutor told CNN. The victim's body was found in, again, I'm an American, please pardon me, Aragny-sur-Oise, a northwest of the capital, according to the French National Anti-Terror Prosecutor's Office. The prosecutor's office confirmed that the attacker was killed by police in the same area. The victim was a school teacher at a secondary school in the region of Conflans-Saint-Honorine, according to the prosecutor's office. The teacher recently showed controversial caricatures depicting the Prophet Muhammad to his students, according to multiple French media outlets, including CNN affiliate BFM TV. Now, I just want to put this out there for the record. Again, I'm not someone, if you are Muslim, if you are Christian, if you are Jewish, I don't care. That's not my thing, but I don't care, right? I consider myself an agnostic atheist. If there were a prophet to come, and they were to say, like, and they were to have evidence, like, yeah, God showed me this thing, and I'm gonna, like, do this cool magic trick, and they just did this thing, and, like, automatic, like, you know, like, if that happened, right, if, like, the Avatar from, like, Avatar The Last Airbender came by, and it's like, yeah, by the way, I'm God, look at my little magic skills, that would be cool. I might become a religious person. I might start believing in God. But as we stand in this world, I think religion is a net negative on the world. And I don't want to make this story all about my views on religion. But again, when you really think of things like, you know, commentators being a courtroom, like, am I really going to make a video about my subject on religion just willy-nilly? I don't know. Haven't done it yet, you know, so maybe I won't ever. So let me just get those opinions out there. According to French newspaper Le Monde, some Muslim parents complained to the school about the slain teacher's decision. That language, by the way, the slain teacher's decision. That's such, like, brutal language. To use one or more of the cartoons as part of a discussion about the Charlie Hebdo attacks, which I believe was a similar situation. Was it not? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the most read up. The prosecutor's office told CNN late Friday that 4 people had been taken into custody following the fatal attack. Nordine, again, I'm American, bear with me, Chawadai, I don't know, I'm so sorry. A parent of a student at the school told Agence France Presse the teacher took the Muslim children out of the class before or during the conversation. My son told me that it was just to preserve them. It was out of pure kindness, because he had to show a caricature of the Prophet of Islam and simply said to the Muslim children, go out. I don't want to hurt your feelings. That's what my son told me. Now, that's a crucial thing here. This isn't like an edgy atheist who's like, I'm going to draw Muhammad on the chalkboard, right? That's not what this situation is, right? Like, this isn't a situation, right, where you see, right, someone just like a teacher, right, draw the Prophet of Muhammad. Let me look up Muhammad real quick. And again, maybe I'm being a little bit too edgy here. But I'm going to draw Muhammad right now in solidarity. And now maybe again it's a little edgy. But so like it's not like the teacher was just randomly like drawing on the chalkboard, like, you know, like, woo, look at me, I'm a prophet, right? You know, like, one sec. Like, it's not like, I'm so sorry, I'm putting a lot of effort into this bit that I'm doing that's not going to be funny, right? So it's not like the teacher just randomly turned around and started drawing the prophet. This is Muhammad, everybody. I did it, I tried my best, right? I tried my best. But it's not like that. This guy was compassionate. This person, I'm not sure if they're a male or female, I guess. This person was compassionate. They said, all right, I know this might offend people, right? And they were very advanced about that. So, again, I think personally, as far as a free speech thing goes, you should be able to draw anything. You should be able to burn anything without fear of any retribution. If I want to burn the Christian Bible, I should be able to do so without the fear of evangelicists. What is the term? I'm so sorry, my brain is not working. Evangelicals, Jesus, coming to my house and fucking chopping my head off, right? I should be able to burn the Quran without, people coming to chop my head off. That is not the way we should work in a free society, right? And now I get it. I understand, right? This is a very complicated situation. Islamophobia is a very serious issue, right? And we need to be able to tread that line. Like, again, I don't care what religion you are. That doesn't concern me. I have a lot of friends who are Jewish people. I have a lot of friends who are Muslim people. I have a couple friends who are Christians, right? And that's just the way it goes. I'm an atheist. That's my thing. But if you want to do what you think, that's fine. But this kind of terroristic impulse is something that needs to be roundly condemned, and it needs to be swiftly condemned, because it is something that we cannot let operate in a free society. And this goes in the same direction of when far right-wing extremists murder gay people because they think gay people are going to steal their children. It's the same thing. Murdering people for the freedom of expression, especially in an educational environment, is incorrect. That is wrong. That is not subjectively wrong. That is not different cultures having different opinions. No, that is objectively, morally incorrect. And again, allow me to be this white Westerner grandstanding here on my big fucking bedroom where I talk about how great I am and how intelligent I am. Let me be that person. I'll be that person, okay? Nobody should ever have to fear anyone attacking them for their issues, right? Or for their opinions, as long as those opinions do not result in the deaths of people. Now, again, if your opinion is that all gay people need to be burned at the stake, I'm not going to be shedding a tear if a gay person decides to protect themselves when you decide, to start up an altercation against them. I won't really care that much. If your opinion is, oh, I want to draw a comic and my comic's going to have a cartoon in it of a prophet, right? And that's your thing and you're just a comedy writer, you shouldn't have to feel like you're going to be murdered, right? That's just the way things are. That's just the way things are. So that's my take on this subject. And again, this is a very, very bad thing and it needs to be roundly condemned. Skeptical Mantis in the chat says, Islam has a lot of potential for fascism. It is explicitly supremacist. I wouldn't say Islam itself is fascist. Islam itself, a lot of the things that I've read from the Quran is probably more modern, more usable, and more, malleable than, the Torah or the Bible in a lot of senses. It's a more updated version. Right? Now, I could be wrong, but in a lot of ways, isn't the Quran just kind of like a third version of the Abrahamic story, right? Isn't the Bible is like Dragon Ball GT, right? The original Old Testament is like Dragon Ball Z, and then you've got the Bible, which is like Dragon Ball GT. A lot of people like it, but it's in a lot of ways it's a spin-off. And then you've got the Quran, which is like Dragon Ball Super, right? They just kind of what, GT kind of happened, but not really. And so we're just going to kind of spin off of that, and the rest isn't canon. So that's kind of my understanding. But again, I'm not a scholar here. So that's just my take. Jews don't kill what is written on the Torah. A lot of Jewish people have killed people based on what is written in the Torah. Look at the Israel-Palestine conflict. There are Jewish people that are willing to murder people because they think that they have a right to a specific holy land. That's extremely problematic. Again, I think worshiping a religious text fundamentally, I think that is a huge problem. And that is why, again, I don't mind if you're religious, but I am not religious for those reasons. I think having a book that I have any disagreement with being the foundational principle of my beliefs and my ideology, I think that is extremely bad. I steal meat from lions. If you want to have a conversation, feel free to hop on. Do you want to join my Discord? Do you want to hop on and have a conversation? I'm welcome to that. But anyway, that's my opinion on this subject. Free speech is absolute. You should be able to say and do whatever you want to do as long as it does not harm any other person. That is my opinion. So, again, this needs to be roundly condemned. My thoughts and my prayers, as useless as they are in this situation, are for the family of the deceased here. Or as CNN put it, the slain teacher. The slain teacher. That's such bizarre language. Such bizarre language. You steal meat. What is my Discord? If you actually want, do you want to have a conversation right now? You steal meat from lions. I'm reading that in a grammatical sense. Do you want to have a conversation right now over a voice call? Because if so, give me like 10 minutes. Let me finish this show up, and then we'll do a new show for that. You can talk to me about whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say, open mic. That's the way the show works. It starts with the Torah, the Old Testament, the Bible, the Torah with Christianity-geared text being additional books. The Quran, completely different book. I see. Okay. But again, thank you for watching today's show. I guess I'm going to do an extra extended show with I Steal Meat from Lions, so we'll see how that goes. Does anyone have any comments they want me to read before I turn the show off today? Anyone got anything? I think today's show is okay. It was okay. Could have been better. Could have been worse. That's fine. Whatever. When you add me on Discord, by the way, you need the capital A. Just for reference. You have to copy and paste that shit as you see it. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate people tuning into this show, especially as early as it is. I know a lot of my viewers are people that may be more available in the evening, and maybe I will do an AM PM version thing. Maybe, you know, I will do a 10 a.m. above it all and like a 10 p.m. above it all. That's not inconceivable, right? Like, I am a very malleable person. I change my format extremely often. So maybe it's possible I'll do an AM PM thing. Would anyone want that? 2 shows a day? My problem with that is, do I have enough content for that? I don't know. Though lately, actually, let me shout this out, right? I've been doing a show called God Damn It, with my buddy Chook. And that's honestly been, in a way, a little bit of a PM show. We've been doing that at around 8 p.m. And we might do it again tonight. So just throwing that out there. But, and also I want to say this, if anyone wants to come on the show, God damn it, is an open mic format. So, we have an open invitation. Anyone can pop in at any point. You know, just don't come in and, scream or, be obnoxious or anything like that. Let's be normal people here. But yeah, that's the idea of God damn it. So, maybe I'll just keep it like that. We'll do God damn it every night. And above it all in the mornings. I don't know. Check out Boog Boys upset over 2A laws joining the forces with BLM against cops in Virginia. I'm going to make a Discord story or Discord channel. In fact, use the Left is Best Discord channel. I think people have been. Post anything you want me to talk about in the Left is Best channel on my Discord. And I'm going to try to be more proactive when I do the show prep. and put that in there. Again, I'm so sorry. A lot of this is due to my laziness. But I do want to have like a little bit more of an interactive kind of system. But yeah, so again, this person wants to have a little bit of a conversation. I'm going to turn this stream off. I will be making a separate live stream in about 5 to 10 minutes. And we'll go from there. So, thank you. I sent you information on Black Panther Jalil Muntakim being released after decades of prison. I will try to look into that. Thank you for that. And again, I don't mean any, like, I know, you know, things get heated and stuff. I don't mean to, unless you're a Trumper, right? If you're a Trumper, like, come back in a couple years and maybe we'll try again. But, like, if you're not a Trumper, I feel like I can be friends with anybody here. So, that's my position. But anyway, again, thank you for watching. I will see you with part 2 of this program soon.
Antifa exists. Antifa exists. Antifa exists. Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position. You're not like
Dumb people, dumb people, dumb people, dumb people, dumb people, liberal people.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. Not good. Believe me, not good.
You know, the truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was. In a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was. In a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. 8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives, so this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company. A real beautiful company.
Good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. He was not a loser. He was a patriot. And the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about Baylor.
I don't know Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
I know Hunter.
yeah,
I know Hunter. I know Hunter.
yeah,
Hunter
you know
got
Bo.
thrown. Hunter. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter
you know
got
Bo.
thrown. Hunter got thrown out of the military. Thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
for
wasn't dishonorably.
cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Didn't have a job until you became vice president. Didn't have a job until you became vice president.
So stupid. So stupid. Thank you. Thank you.